Welcome to 2D Mystery, where the truth always hides behind the obvious. Magnifying glass tilted left. Do you remember the name of the cat in Tom and Jerry? Have you ever heard mirror, mirror on the wall? In Snow White? If the answer is yes, then you may be living in a false reality. In today's episode, we dive into the creepy phenomenon called the Mandela Effect, where the collective memories of millions of people conflict with reality. Is our universe being torn apart, or are we slipping through parallel dimensions without even knowing it? Milky Way, brain buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey of exploring the mysteries of the brain, parallel universes, and events that might make you doubt your own memories. 2D Mystery, where each question opens a portal to another reality. If you find this video interesting, don't forget to like to support, share for your friends to explore, and subscribe to 2D Mystery so you don't miss any mysteries that are about to be revealed. Chapter 1. The mystery named Mandela Effect. What if everything you remember never actually happened? Imagine a normal morning. You make a cup of coffee, open your phone, and scroll through a social media post. Someone writes, "Wait, wasn't Nelson Mandela dead in the 1980s? I swear I watched his funeral on TV." You frown. A chill runs down your spine. You remember clearly, very clearly, the images of mourners, the national funeral, the coffin draped in the South African flag, and the emotional speech broadcast on television. And now, according to Google and official history, Nelson Mandela died in 2013? What's going on? Is your memory betraying you? Or have you just stepped through a crack in your reality? Tornado, the Mandela Effect storm. The term Mandela Effect was coined in 2009 when metaphysical researcher Fiona Broome publicly expressed her confusion at a scientific conference. She was convinced that Nelson Mandela had died in prison in the 1980s, and the scariest thing was that thousands of other people remembered it exactly the same way. It wasn't just a feeling of wow. They had detailed memories, vivid emotions, and sometimes even remembered the words spoken at the funeral. The event quickly spread, becoming a global phenomenon. People began to discover a series of similar cases. Things they remembered clearly, but either didn't exist or had mysteriously changed. The Fruit of the Loom logo doesn't have a cornucopia. Pikachu never had a blacktail. Monopoly Man never wore a monocle. The question is no longer, are you remembering wrong? But, is the world you live in the original, or is it just an alternate version? Television memories that can't be erased. From South Africa to New York, from Reddit to tiny Japanese cafes, the Mandela Effect is like a memory epidemic spreading across the world. But what makes it so creepy is not just the misinformation. It's this. Millions of people are getting the same thing wrong. The same detail wrong. The same dream wrong. How can one person get it wrong? But how can the whole of humanity get it wrong? It's as if an invisible hand has gently tweaked the collective memory, erased a few pieces, and replaced them with something else, similar but not quite the same. And only a few awake people can feel the difference. Ice Cube memory, cold truth or illusion. Some scientists explain the Mandela Effect as a result of false memory, groupthink, or social media noise. They argue that the human brain is not a video camera, but a painter, recreating the past based on emotions and beliefs. And sometimes that picture is completely wrong. But if it's simply a cognitive error, why are there complex, logical, and synchronized memory fragments among millions of people in different countries? Why do some people remember that New Zealand is north of Australia, or that the dark side of the moon once broadcast images, when both Wikipedia and NASA say otherwise? Door is opening. Some bold theorists theorize, maybe we accidentally slipped out of our old reality and are now living in a parallel universe that is similar, but not quite the same. Maybe at some point, all of humanity jumped into time or synced with another plane of reality without even realizing it. Some people who are sensitive to energy, information fields, or simply have a connection to an older version of themselves will notice the difference. And then the Mandela Effect is no longer a mere memory error. It becomes evidence of an event that shook the foundations of the universe. Performing arts a warning from elsewhere? Some theories go even further. They suggest that the Mandela Effect is a warning signal from a superior intelligence, alien, or from the future. Maybe this is the reality engineer's way of reminding us. This world is just a simulation, and you're starting to see the cracks. Just as Neo discovered the Matrix through small absurdities. Maybe the Mandela Effect is our first invitation to wake up from the illusion and ask, reality, is it real or just really well programmed? Is our amulet the end or the beginning? The Mandela Effect is just the surface. We're just scratching the surface of a giant door, one that leads to theories about multiple universes, parallel realities, manipulated collective memories, and even entities watching us from outside of space-time. And if the Mandela Effect is real, if you really are living in an imperfect replica of the world you once knew, then the only question that remains is, how do I get back to my original reality? Chapter 2. The Collective Memory Glitch. When millions remember the same wrong thing. If it's just a memory lapse, why are we all misremembering the exact same things? Puzzle piece when memory isn't your own. Picture this. You and an old friend are sitting in a coffee shop, talking about your childhood. Someone mentions the fruit of the Loom logo. You vividly remember the cornucopia filled with fruit. But then you look it up online, and there's no cornucopia. You're not alone. Hundreds of thousands of people on Reddit swear they remember it too. Some even claim they drew the logo for a school assignment. They don't just remember something's wrong. They remember every detail so vividly, as if they were living in an alternate reality. And the strange thing is, they're not alone. Globe showing Europe, Africa, a global memory fever. The Mandela Effect is not a random phenomenon. It is systematic, repeating the same pattern, the same form, as if a piece of code had gone wrong or a layer of memory had been replaced en masse. Here are some examples that have left millions of people bewildered. Looney Tunes or Looney Tunes? Luke, I am your father was never said in Star Wars. Kit Kat, without the hyphen? C. 3PO has a silver leg? These are all things we remember clearly, but reality denies. What could cause so many individuals in different countries to have the same false memory is no longer an individual mistake. It is a glitch in the collective memory network. Books research is not enough to explain. Some psychologists try to explain this phenomenon by citing false memory. Memories are distorted by time, social influence, or emotions. Confabulation. The brain fills in the blanks with seemingly logical information. Social contagion of memory. One person remembers wrongly, another person is affected accordingly. But there is a problem. Why is it wrong in the same way, the same detail, the same time frame? If this is a memory disease, it is clearly contagious, but it spreads without any rules of normal biology or psychology. Is it a mental epidemic that comes from outside the scope of human consciousness? Magnifying glass tilted left, like someone is controlling memory? Some conspiracy theorists have made chilling claims. It's possible that some force has been hacking into humanity's collective memory. They're not changing the events, they're just changing how we remember them. And you don't know it until old memories suddenly surface from deep within your subconscious. What if memories can be uploaded, deleted, or rewritten? The world is like a server that's been updated to a new version. Only not all of us have been updated perfectly. Some devices, people, still retain old data. They call it false memory. But there's another possibility. That was real memory. The present is fake. Brain collective memory. The dark data that hasn't been decoded. These cases open the door to one of the most mysterious concepts in the human mind, collective memory. Perhaps there is a cloud of intelligence where humanity shares a common stream of historical data and memories. And if that place is invaded, edited, or reset, then those who are more deeply connected to it will feel the difference. They are the ones who remember wrongly, or rather, remember too much. Flashlight Mandela Effect. Signs of a reality being reprogrammed? What if this is not a natural phenomenon? What if there is a programming hand, like in the Matrix, interfering with the original data? A force that wants to hide the past. A future AI that is cleaning up history? Or a parallel dimension, just colliding with our reality? Each wrong memory is a glitch, a crack in the simulated universe, and a whisper. Reality has been tampered with. Compass the big question. So, which is real? If you remember something and others remember it, but the world denies it, who's right? Could you have lived in a different timeline? Or have you been reset without even knowing it? Clapperboard end of chapter 2, but the fall is just the beginning. Do you believe what you see, or do you only believe what you remember? In chapter 3, we'll dive into the most famous Mandela Effect examples, with evidence, controversy, and goosebump-inducing details. Prepare yourself for a journey through warped memories and warped realities. Chapter 3. Famous examples that shouldn't exist. The impossible but ubiquitous evidence. If the facts have changed, but your memories haven't, which one is real? Performing Arts 1. The curious case of the Berenstain Bears. One of the most famous and controversial Mandela Effects is the name of the popular children's book series, The Berenstain Bears. But wait, do you remember what it is? Berenstain Bears? With the EIN at the end? Millions of people, especially those born in the 80s and 90s, are 100% certain that they read a book called Berenstain, and many even pronounce it Berenstein, as the Hebrew root is popular. But now, every print, every official record says Berenstain with ein, as if it was always spelled that way. Thousands of people have read the story, listened to the audiobook, watched the cartoon. They all remembered it wrong. Or something changed. Pushpin some people even said it was Berenstein, until one day it wasn't. Beverage Box 2, Febreze. But do you remember 2 E's? Check your closet, the famous deodorant Febreze. Do you remember what it says? Febreze, with 2 E's like breeze, gentle breeze? Or Febreze, with just 1 E, which sounds like it's been shaved off? Now, all packaging is just 1 E. But the internet is awash with articles, debates, old photos, and stories that the logo used to be 2 ES. A mild lunacy creeps into the collective mind. I remember it so clearly. I wrote it for a commercial in high school. Clapperboard 3. Star Wars. Luke, I am your father. Never existed? Have you ever heard Darth Vader say the famous line, Luke, I am your father? It's one of the most quoted movie lines on the planet. Printed on shirts, mugs, memes, parodies from cartoons to talk shows. But here's the shocking truth. In The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader never said it. The actual line is, no, I am your father. So why do millions of people, actors, fans, and media remember the same line wrong? Is it a distorted memory, or is reality edited? Film Frames 4. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Never said? The classic line from Disney's Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Who hasn't heard it? But replay the original Disney film, 1937, and you'll hear, magic mirror on the wall. Wait, what? You, I, and the entire pop culture have been remembering it wrong for decades? Not just remembering it wrong, but in unison, remembering it the same way? This is the Mandela event that broke the hearts of many people the most, because it hit a deep childhood memory. Teddy Bear 5. Pikachu the Blacktail is gone? Remember Pikachu, the iconic Pokemon movie character? Do you remember the tail detail? Many people claim that there was a black patch at the end of the tail. That's what made Pikachu's image balanced and memorable. Even many fan art artists unconsciously added a black tail, despite having no original image evidence. The truth, Pikachu never had that black patch. But why do we all remember it? It can't be a coincidence. Chocolate Bar 6. Kit Kat, the hyphen is gone? One of the most popular sweet brands in the world, Kit Kat. Remember the logo with a hyphen between Kit and Kat, right? Kit Kat, it's balanced and easy to read. Shocking fact, there was no hyphen, ever. Every old packaging, advertisement, logo confirms, Kit Kat. So where does the hyphen come from? A parallel world? An older reality where memories are still fresh? Radio 7. We are the champions of the world? In the Queen song, We Are the Champions, you remember the ending. Musical note, "We are the champions of the world," musical note. You can almost hear Freddie Mercury drawling out the last note. But the truth is, there is no "of the world" at the end of the song. In the official studio version, the released records, even the live versions, that part is completely absent at the end. But millions still remember, still hum, still believe. I heard that before. Is there a part of the old reality that once contained that melody and then disappeared? Joystick 8. Monopoly Man? No monocle? The old man in the Monopoly game. Top hat, fancy mustache, and monocle? No, he never wore a monocle. From the classic game boxes to the current commercials, no glasses. But that's one of the most memorable details. Are we remembering another version of him? Milky Way other examples are even more terrifying. Oscar Mayer, not Meyer. Sex in the City, or Sex in the City. Life is like a box of chocolates. Turns out, life was like a box of chocolates. Volkswagen logo. Is there a hyphen between the V and W? Each little detail is a small shock in the timeline. And when put together, they show one thing. The memories of millions of people on this planet are no longer in sync with reality. Crystal ball the puzzle pieces that don't fit. You might think, I must have made a mistake. But you're not alone. You made the same mistake as millions of others. At the same time, in the same detail. That can't be a coincidence. If you're still sane after this chapter, congratulations. You've officially entered the gray area of reality. And in Chapter 4, we'll explore the haunting theories behind this phenomenon. From the multiverse, to quantum physics experiments, to future AI intervention. Chapter 4, Theories Behind the Mandela Effect. The creepy theories behind the distorted truth. If reality is shifting, what or who is behind the curtain? DNA 1, the multiverse theory. Maybe your memories come from another universe. One of the most popular and creepy explanations for the Mandela Effect is the multiverse theory. The theory suggests that we don't live in a single universe, but in countless versions of reality, where every tiny choice we make creates a new branch. In one universe, you read Berenstain Bears. In another, it's Berenstain Bears. And if the boundaries between those universes leak or they collide, then we could carry memories of a reality we're no longer in. Fire reality collision theory. Some theorists even believe that in 2012, when CERN fired up its Large Hadron Collider to search for the Higgs boson, an irreversible event occurred. A reality leak, a time slip, a crack in the veil between dimensions. The result? We, or at least the collective consciousness of humanity, slipped into a branch of reality that is similar, but not quite the same. Magnet 2, quantum mechanics and decoherence. Reality is not fixed. It fluctuates until someone looks at it. Quantum mechanics, the foundation of modern physics, completely shatters the notion of a single, absolute reality. A famous example, the double-slit experiment. When a particle is shot through two slits, it creates a diffraction pattern, as if it were a wave. But if you observe the particle as it moves, it immediately behaves as a single particle, no longer a wave. Observation changes the nature of reality. Applying this to the Mandela Effect, it may be that our collective consciousness is influencing reality, causing it to fluctuate between possible versions. And some people retain memories from versions that have not been stabilized. Some scientists call this quantum cognition, where the human brain can store memories from multiple states of reality simultaneously. Brain 3. Simulation games. Are we living in the Matrix? What if you're not misremembering, but witnessing a glitch in the system? Imagine, all the Mandela effects you're feeling, you're not mistaken. It's a reality program that's been patched, updated, or modified, like a software patch, where old data is no longer compatible with the new version. The arguments for this theory. The world around us is increasingly becoming more and more like a simulation, from the unusual laws of physics to random synchronicities. The Mandela effects are glitches, errors that occur when the reality system changes, but fails to erase all traces from human memory. Some believe that a super-intelligent artificial intelligence, is controlling this simulation, and the Mandela effects are unintended distortions in the editing of history. Magnifying glass tilted left 4. Time-traveling AI, a less talked about but extremely creepy theory suggests that a superintelligent AI in the future has figured out how to interfere with the past to modify the timeline. The problem is, humans are not completely reset. Some people still retain memories from the previous timeline, leading to the Mandela effect. The purpose of that AI could be preventing a catastrophic event, reforming people's minds from the past, or worse, testing mass cognitive control. 5. Collective memory and brain structure being manipulated. There is a safer, but still creepy, hypothesis. It is possible that human collective memory is more easily shaped than we think. Through movies, popular culture, advertising, creating false memories, repetitive education systems, social media, AI-generated fake content, deepfake, images altering people's memories without them realizing it. If millions of people remember something wrong, it is no longer an isolated event, but a social phenomenon or a large-scale experiment. Ice Cube 6. Mandela Effect. The door to things that are not allowed to be known. Some people believe that the Mandela Effect is not a consequence, but a trace. The trace of a process of controlling historical information, erasing the past, changing the future. Secret organizations, or extraterrestrial forces, interdimensional entities, are testing the ability to change collective perception. When a person wrongly remembers a certain detail, they are considered mistaken. But if millions of people wrongly, it is no longer a coincidence. It is evidence that an invisible hand is manipulating time. DNA conclusion of Chapter 4. The Mandela Effect is no longer a matter of false memory. It has become a gateway to the deepest questions about reality. Are we living in a real world or a designed simulation? How many universes are overlapping? Are these small deviations just the beginning of a cognitive catastrophe? Global consciousness? Fire Chapter 5 takes viewers even deeper, as real witnesses recount their experiences of living in two different realities. They not only remembered differently, but they also felt and lived a past that did not coincide at all with this world. Chapter 5. Personal testimonies when memory defies reality. Living testimony when memory defies the world. I remember a world that no longer exists, or maybe never did. I'm in Speech Bubble 1. I remember Mandela's death on TV in 1980. The most iconic story and the origin of the phrase Mandela Effect comes from Fiona Broom, an occult expert. She recounts, I vividly remember watching the news of Nelson Mandela's death when he died in prison in the 1980s. There was the funeral on TV. There was the speech by his wife. It was all so clear. The strange thing? Mandela didn't die in the 80s. He was released in 1990, became president of South Africa, and only died in 2013. Thousands of people around the world claim to have the same memory, Mandela's death before it actually happened. It's not a vague memory. It's like I lived in a world where he was long dead. A Reddit post, 2016. Package 2. The Monopoly man has a monocle. I bet you. Have you ever pictured the old man on the Monopoly board with the suit, top hat, and a monocle? Really? No glasses. Never. But millions of people swear they remember it vividly. Not only that, many describe him as standing sideways, holding a gold cane, with a monocle over his right eye. I've been a graphic designer for 10 years. I've drawn him many times, and he always had glasses. Now that I look back, I don't understand why he didn't. A New York designer. What makes our memories wrong all at once? Or is it memory that's right and reality that's been altered? Shopping bags. 3. Sex and the City or Sex and the City? Another classic Mandela effect. Many people, especially women who were fascinated by the hit movie, insist that the name of the movie was Sex and the City. They remember the DVD box with that word printed on it. They remember the TV commercials that advertised it. Some even saved their movie tickets and saw Sex and the City. But now the correct name is Sex and the City. I used to work in a DVD store, I stacked hundreds of boxes of Sex and the City. I knew every word. Now I look online and it's all Sex and the City. I'm going crazy. Record store employee, Toronto, Canada. Hourglass not done for. People who fall into alternate realities and back. Cyclone James R.S. case. The world I woke up in was not the same as yesterday. James R., a 42-year-old software engineer in Oregon, says that after a minor car accident, he woke up and started to feel wrong. The logo on a Pepsi can was different. The Queen's song, "We Are the Champions," is missing the "of the world" at the end. His mother said his grandfather died in 1995, while James claims he lived until 2000. There's even a picture of him holding an iPod. I felt like I woke up in another universe. Very similar, but not mine. James, 2021. Repeat button 5. People who remember two versions of the same event. Another creepy phenomenon. Some people report remembering the same event in two completely different ways. For example, one person clearly remembers watching Looney Tunes, but sometimes they also remember reading Looney Tunes. I'm torn. It's like I have two files of the same event in my head, but I can't decide which one is real. Annabelle M., London. Scientists call this phenomenon false dual memory syndrome. But those who experience it don't believe it's just a bug. It's like I exist in two time dimensions at the same time. And now they're merging. Puzzle piece 6. Nightclub, old sign, and proof that mistakes can't be wrong. A Reddit user shared a strange piece of evidence. I found an old Febreze sign in a store's warehouse, and it said Febreze as I always remembered, not Febreze. But when I looked it up online, it was all Febreze. No one believed me. The big question is, could this be a remnant from an alternate reality? Or is it evidence of a crack in history, not fully updated? Megaphone 7. When millions of people remember wrong, is it really wrong? If just one person remembers wrong, it could be a brain error. If 10 people, it could be a coincidence. But if millions of people remember the same detail wrong from all over the world, then it's no longer a memory error. It's a sign of a fractured reality. The Mandela Effect gives us a window into the unexplained. And it's these stories from real people, real events, that make the phenomenon so impossible to ignore. Crystal Ball Chapter 6 hint. In the next chapter, we'll delve into neuroscience and psychology to see if the human brain is really that easily fooled, or if there's some unseen force shaping the perception of all of humanity. If memories can be edited, do we still have free will? Chapter 6. The science behind the Mandela Effect. What if reality is fractured? The science behind the Mandela Effect. Is reality cracking? What if the world you think you know is just a version of the truth? Microscope 1. Neuroscience, the memory paradox. Neuroscience, memory contradictions. Our memories are wonderful and complex, but they're also easily deceived. Neuroscience researchers have shown that our brains do not remember events in precise, detailed ways. Instead, our brains often create stories to fill in gaps in our memories. And when they do, distorted memories can gradually take over our awareness. When we remember an event, our brains do not simply replay the information. In fact, the brain creates a copy of a memory, editing and changing it over time, often adding and removing details. These small details come not only from changes in individual perception, but can also come from external factors, such as hearing other people's stories or the surrounding environment. And when many people share a false memory, this creates a strange ripple effect, where this memory becomes the new truth in the collective consciousness. But if a memory can change, can reality also be easily reshaped? Milky Way 2. Parallel universes. Are we jumping between realities? Parallel universes. Are we jumping between realities? The most intriguing hypothesis about the Mandela Effect is the parallel universe. Parallel universes is a theory in physics that suggests that there are an infinite number of universes that exist parallel to our own, each with a different history and present. According to this theory, we may be living in an alternate reality, where things like time and history are not fixed. In some versions of this theory, our universe is moving parallel to other universes, and there are moments when we accidentally jump from one universe to another. This would explain why we sometimes have very clear memories of an event that happened, but cannot find evidence of that event in our current world. If our memories from another universe started to intrude on us, would that be a sign of a reality transfer? Crystal Ball 3. Quantum mechanics, the butterfly effect of reality. Quantum mechanics, the butterfly effect of reality. If parallel universes are a fascinating theory, quantum mechanics offers a completely different concept of reality. In the world of quantum mechanics, elementary particles do not exist in just one specific state, but can exist in many states at the same time. This means that an event can happen in many different ways in different spaces and times. This opens up an interesting question. Are we experiencing a constantly changing reality due to small quantum impacts, like the butterfly effect? Quantum mechanics can help explain why small events or changes in the past can create large changes in the present, causing our perceptions and memories to change. And in the quantum world, an event like the death of Nelson Mandela in a parallel universe could have happened and affected our reality without us even knowing. We could be living in a reality where past events have been changed, and only quantum cracks are signs of that change. High Voltage 4. Time travel. Is someone playing with our past? Time travel. Is someone playing with our past? Time travel. Is someone playing with our past? Time travel. A subject that has always fascinated science fiction. But could it explain the memory distortions we experience? One of the more intriguing theories about the Mandela Effect involves the possibility of manipulating time. If time travel is real, it could be that someone is tampering with the past, and those small changes are creating big effects in the present without us even realizing it. For example, the memories that many people have of Sex and the City or the image of the monoply man with a monocle could be the result of a small change in the timeline made by someone from the future. We could be living in a tampered timeline where small changes to the past create cracks and changes in all of our memories. Magnifying glass tilted left 5. The Mandela Effect as a warning. The Mandela Effect as a warning. Another theory is that the Mandela Effect could be a sign of testing or interference beyond our understanding. Some believe that memory distortions are a sign of a larger experiment, perhaps by an alien force or a top-secret government research program. There could be a major project that is experimenting on our consciousness, and we are intertwined witness cracks in a reality we can't control. Rocket Chapter 7 hint. So, could it be that science doesn't fully grasp what's really going on in our reality? Are the strange things we call the Mandela Effect signs of a world we no longer control? Chapter 7 will present real-life cases and unusual testimonies from people who have witnessed or experienced cracks in reality. Maybe we'll see inexplicable signs of a changing world, and the answers will open a door to another universe. Real-life cases. Are the mysteries of Mandela Effect true? Real-life cases. Are the mysteries of the Mandela Effect true? What if everything you thought was real is just a shadow of something else? Man Detective 1. The Berenstain Bears versus. The Berenstain Bears. A changing name? The Berenstain Bears series. A changing name? One of the first examples of the Mandela Effect involves something seemingly innocuous, but that surprised millions of people. The Berenstain Bears. Millions of people remember the famous book series as Berenstain Bears, with an E instead of an A. They remember every detail of the series, but when they checked, the name was actually Berenstain. The question is, how could millions of people remember such a small detail wrong? The name Berenstain has appeared not only in books, but also on movies, DVDs, and a host of other materials. Is there really a change in collective memory? Or is it simply our brains creating false memories? And this question goes beyond names, as it also involves our memories of events, movies, and even celebrities. Could the Mandela Effect explain why we misremember events that happened in the past? Cyclone 2. The Monopoly Man. Did he have a monocle? Monopoly Man. Did he have a monocle? Another story that has had a strong influence on many people is Monopoly Man, the famous character in a Monopoly gambling game. Most people clearly remember that he wore a monocle, but in fact, Monopoly Man never wore glasses. Some people can even point to images and advertisements from the past that they believe support their memories. So why do so many people have a common memory of a detail that doesn't exist? This leads those who believe in the Mandela Effect to wonder, is there really an interference with our memories? Could it be that inaccurate images from old advertisements or different versions of the Monopoly game are causing confusion in our memories? Globe showing Europe, Africa 3. The location of New Zealand. Is it where we think it is? The location of New Zealand. Is it where we think it is? Another interesting case involving the Mandela Effect is the location of New Zealand. Many people claim that New Zealand is east of Australia, but after checking a map, they realize that New Zealand is actually west of Australia. Some people have even remade the map and found that New Zealand's location has always been the same, but their memory still says that New Zealand's location is different. Is this a visual effect or a psychic phenomenon where changes in reality cause us to perceive things incorrectly? Woman Detective 4. The Mandela Death, a global phenomenon. The death of Nelson Mandela, a global phenomenon. And of course, we cannot help but mention the event that has been named the Mandela Effect, the death of Nelson Mandela. Millions of people around the world clearly remember that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. But the truth is that he survived and died in 2013. So how could millions of people have a wrong memory of such a major event? That is the question that many people ask when they first hear about the Mandela Effect. The strange thing is that this story has happened to many people all over the world, not just in one area or one group of people. This is not a small event, but a large collective memory. Do we live in a world where memories can be changed without us realizing it? Milky Way 5. The moon landing, a disputed event? The moon landing, a disputed event? Some people believe that some details of the 1969 moon landing are inaccurate. They claim that the photos and videos of the event may have been faked, or at least contain strange details that cannot be explained. These people claim that they remember the American flag in the videos swaying. But scientists and government officials have explained that since there is no wind on the moon, the flag simply swayed due to other forces during the flag planting process. However, the confusion surrounding this event still exists in the minds of many people. Could there be a parallel reality where this event happened differently? Or is it just an intervention of memory that we cannot explain? High Voltage 6. The Loch Ness Monster, a myth or a truth? The Loch Ness Monster, myth or truth? The Loch Ness Monster is one of the most famous Scottish legends, with thousands of people believing in its existence. However, there are people who feel a change in their memories of this monster. Some people clearly remember seeing a very clear image of the monster in old documents. Does the Loch Ness Monster really exist? Or is it just a product of changes in reality that our memories cannot keep up with? In such cases, could there really be a change in reality that we have not yet noticed? Could interference from parallel realities or quantum phenomena explain all of this? Chapter 8 will delve into the personal stories of people who have experienced the Mandela Effect and who have witnessed inexplicable changes in their lives. Where we delve into personal stories about the Mandela Effect, exploring the experiences that many people have had where they felt the world around them change in ways they couldn't explain. These stories raise the question of whether there could be interference from a parallel reality, or whether we are facing a greater mystery that science has yet to explain. Personal testimonies, experiences beyond explanation. Personal stories, experiences beyond explanation. What if the memories you cherish most never really happened? Milky Way 1. The case of Laura, a family memory that was never there. The case of Laura, a family memory that was never there. Laura is an ordinary woman living in a small town. She always remembered that she went to visit her grandmother on a summer vacation, and during that trip, she had a memorable memory of seeing an old computer in her grandmother's living room. However, when she told this story to her family, everyone was confused and insisted that this computer never existed. Laura could not explain why this memory existed in her mind so clearly. She remembered every detail about the computer, the old floppy disks, and even the family photos around. But her family insisted that there had never been a computer in that house. I know what I saw, but how could it be that none of them remember what I do? Laura's story raises the question, is her memory an altered memory from a parallel reality that she accidentally experienced? Counterclockwise Zero's button 2. Michael's memory of a childhood toy. A toy that never existed. Michael's memory of a childhood toy. A toy that never existed. Michael clearly remembers a favorite toy of his as a child. It was a toy robot, designed in a futuristic style with extremely detailed details. This toy was with him throughout his childhood and was associated with many happy memories. However, when he asked his mother about this toy, she could not remember and affirmed that he had never owned it. After asking friends and family members, they also had no memory of the toy. Michael went looking but could not find any information or photos proving that this toy ever existed. It was like the toy had vanished from time altogether. Was it even real? Or was it just a piece of my imagination? Michael's memories raise a strange question. Could this toy have come from a parallel reality where he may have owned it, but when he returned to this reality, it never existed? High Voltage 3. The Double Book Incident. 2 lives, 1 memory. The Double Book Incident. 2 lives, 1 memory. Alice and John are a couple who have been in a long-term relationship. One day, they accidentally discover that they both clearly remember reading the same book as children. However, that book does not exist in any library or bookstore. After a few checks, they cannot find any information about the book. Alice clearly remembers that this book has a blue cover and a mysterious story about a magical necklace. John also remembers every detail, but when searching for information about the book, both are stumped. How could we both have the same memory of something that has never existed? Was it a shared dream, or was something else entirely? This story makes both of them wonder. Were their memories altered in a parallel reality where the book actually existed? Or did they both experience a strange experience that they cannot explain? Globe showing Europe, Africa 4. Emma's visit to an unknown place. A city that vanished. Emma's visit to an unknown place. A city that vanished. Emma visited a small town when she was young, where she enjoyed a short vacation with her family. However, when she tried to return to the city many years later, she could not find any sign of the city. There are no road signs, and the locals did not know about the city. Emma was sure that she had been there. She remembered the streets, the buildings, and the familiar cafes. But no such city exists on the current map. It's like I was in a different world. Was I just imagining it? Or did that city exist in another reality? Emma wonders if she might have visited a city that belongs to a parallel reality. One where a completely different city exists, and when she returns to this world, that city no longer exists. Dizzy 5. The Disappearing Friend. A friendship that never happened. The Disappearing Friend. A friendship that never happened. Sarah has a close friend named Lily. They have shared many memories together, attended the same classes, attended club activities, and shared secrets from high school. However, when Sarah tries to find information about Lily on social media and in old photos, she can't find any trace of that friend. Her old classmates don't remember who Lily is. No one has confirmed her past existence. Sarah feels like Lily has completely disappeared from her life, even though her memories of her are still very clear. Did she ever exist? Or was she part of a world that no longer exists? Sarah wonders if Lily is a friend from a parallel reality that she once met, but in this reality, she never existed? Are all these stories signs of a larger phenomenon? Could we be living in a reality where our memories are altered? And is there a parallel reality where these events continue? Chapter 9 will explore more about the scientific theories behind the Mandela Effect, from quantum experiments to theories of parallel universes. Together we will explore whether it is possible to prove that the reality we live in may not be the only one. We explore the scientific theories behind the Mandela Effect, from quantum experiments to parallel universe theories. These theories shed light on whether there could be interference from another reality, and whether we could be living in a world where events could be changed. The scientific explanations quantum theories in parallel universes. Scientific explanations, quantum theories in parallel universes. What if the truth we know is just one thread in an infinite tapestry of realities? DNA 1. The quantum mechanics of memory. Can time and reality be interwoven? Quantum mechanics of memory. Can time and reality be interwoven? One of the theories proposed to explain the Mandela Effect is quantum mechanics. Physicists have shown that matter and energy can exist in multiple states at the same time. This could lead to the real possibility that our memories could travel across parallel realities. The multiverse theory suggests that our universe is just one of an infinite number of parallel universes. In these universes, it is possible that every decision, every change, creates a new parallel reality. This opens up the possibility that our memories could drift from one reality to another, bringing with them changes that we cannot explain. What if our minds are picking up traces from other realities, distorting our memories in the process? Many have suggested that these changes in memories could be due to quantum effects, where memories not only reflect what happened in our reality, but could also be feedback from parallel realities that we have accidentally come into contact with. Atom symbol 2, the many worlds interpretation, a theory of infinite realities. The many worlds interpretation, a theory of infinite realities. One of the most popular scientific theories related to the Mandela Effect is the many worlds interpretation in quantum mechanics. Developed by Hugh Everett in the 1950s, the theory proposes that every decision, every action, creates a new reality. Instead of a single reality, there are countless parallel realities, each reflecting a different decision or event. Everett states, "When we make a decision, the universe branches and creates a new reality." This may explain why some people remember events differently than they actually happened in history. What we're experiencing as the Mandela Effect is simply a glimpse into the parallel realities where things played out differently. Altered memories could be a crossover between parallel universes where an event played out differently, and we are now back in a reality where the event never happened. Shooting Star 3. The time slip phenomenon. Are we glitching in time? Time slip phenomenon. Are we glitching in time? Some have suggested that the Mandela Effect could be related to time slips, where events and memories are distorted due to the intervention of cosmic forces or time editing techniques. It's a strange but intriguing hypothesis. We could be living in a universe where time isn't completely linear, and memory distortions could be the result of a temporal error. Time theorists have theorized that in a multidimensional universe, parallel realities could be connected through a kind of time tunnel. If there's a change in one universe, it could create a time wound that we unwittingly pick up. Could the Mandela Effect be a sign that time itself is being manipulated or altered? People who experience time warps describe feeling like they missed an event in another reality, and then return to a reality with an altered memory of that event. Strange phenomena, such as remembering an event clearly but not being able to find any evidence of it, could be a result of a change in the timeline. Milky Way 4. The role of collective consciousness. Could we all be sharing a reality? The role of collective consciousness. Could we all be sharing a reality? Another intriguing theory is the collective consciousness. According to this theory, we could all be sharing a common reality, and a change in one person's memory could affect the memories of others. There may be an invisible link between us all, where changes in one individual can affect others around them. Carl Jung studied the collective consciousness, suggesting that we have a deeper layer of shared memories, and this may partly explain the Mandela Effect. Altered memories are not just an individual phenomenon, but maybe a manifestation of a shift in the collective consciousness, where many people experience the same thing at the same time. This change, what if the Mandela Effect is a manifestation of the collective consciousness, a shared memory that we all unknowingly influence? If collective consciousness can change and form new memories, the Mandela Effect may not be a single change of each individual, but a collective phenomenon where our memories are altered for a short period of time. Rocket 5. Theoretical and technological implications. Can science prove the Mandela Effect? Theoretical and technological implications. Can science prove the Mandela Effect? Although science has made great strides in explaining physical and cosmic phenomena, theories of parallel universes and altered memories remain at the level of hypotheses. Modern physicists are still searching for evidence that we may be living in a multidimensional universe. And could there be future technologies that allow us to prove or even test parallel realities? Is it possible that the Mandela Effect will eventually be explained by advances in quantum mechanics and technology, opening a new door to understanding the true nature of our reality? With the development of technology, such as quantum computing and modern cosmology, it is possible that in the future we will be able to test the existence of parallel universes and possibly prove that the Mandela Effect is part of a larger phenomenon. Chapter 9 has helped us better understand the scientific theories behind the Mandela Effect. But could there be more definitive evidence in the future? Chapter 10 takes us on a journey of cosmic exploration, where we analyze the latest scientific discoveries about parallel universes, quantum mechanics, and time, to find answers to one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Finally, we will explore the evidence and real-life phenomena related to the Mandela Effect and the theory of parallel universes. We will delve into the mysterious events, images, and traces that may prove that these phenomena are not just products of the imagination, but are actually unexplained pieces of a larger picture of our reality. Milky Way, Chapter 10. Evidence from the unknown. Proof of parallel realities? Are we simply living in the echoes of a reality that was never meant to exist? Puzzle Piece 1. The strangest glitches in the Matrix. Proof of altered realities. Strange phenomena, such as changing images in textbooks, disappearances of objects or events that no longer exist in history, but have a strong imprint on the memories of many people, can be strong evidence for the existence of parallel realities. One of the typical examples is the image of the famous painting Mona Lisa, which some people remember with a different smile, or small details are changed that many people cannot explain. Are our memories being changed by different universes where things happen differently? These errors in the Matrix can be evidence that we are living in an imperfect reality system, where parallel realities overlap. Could these anomalies be the result of our collective memories being altered by a shift in realities? Interestingly, these changes are not random, and they can occur simultaneously in multiple people, making those experiencing the Mandela Effect feel as if they're witnessing changes in a parallel reality. Magnifying glass tilted left 2. The Berenstain Bears controversy, a case study in collective memory. The Berenstain Bears controversy, a case study in collective memory. One of the most famous and controversial examples of the Mandela Effect is the Berenstain Bears, a series of children's books that millions of people remember vividly as the Berenstain Bears. This shift has led many to wonder, have we all lived in a reality where the name Berenstain was, and now we are living in a new reality where it is Berenstain? These questions are not just personal speculations, but also theoretical issues about collective memory. When an entire generation remembers an event in a particular way, is it a sign of an unexplained change in reality? What if our entire generation was once part of a reality where Berenstain Bears was the truth, and now we're just living in the altered version? This theory continues to grow and gain traction in the research community, especially when events and phenomena that occur almost simultaneously in many people may indicate that we are not all part of the same reality. Globe showing Europe, Africa 3. Mysterious locations and time distortions, places that defy explanation. Mysterious locations and time distortions, places that defy explanation. In addition to memory phenomena, some mysterious locations also play an important role in the Mandela Effect theory. Places like the Bermuda Triangle, where ships and planes have been known to disappear, or the time-warping experiments at Loch Ness. All could be gateways to alternate realities, where time and space don't follow the usual rules. Loch Ness has been the subject of controversy for years over the existence of the monster Nessie. However, many believe that the mysterious events at the lake could be the result of distortions in the timeline, or the intersection of parallel realities? Could these strange anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle and Loch Ness be symptoms of our reality's thin spots, where time itself bends and shifts? Researchers are now starting to ask big questions about these locations, and whether they could be windows into alternate realities, where time can be shifted or even reversed. Cyclone 4. Quantum shifts in reality. The proof we've been waiting for? Quantum shifts in reality. The proof we've been waiting for? Finally, quantum research is opening up a new window into how we can change reality. Quantum effects, where particles can exist in multiple states at once, could explain why our memories can be unstable. They can cross the boundaries of parallel realities and change without us noticing. Experiments like the double-slit experiment show that human observation can change the outcome of quantum particles. This could imply that our reality can also change in the way we perceive it, and perhaps as a result of strange shifts of parallel realities. Could the Mandela Effect simply be a quantum shift in our reality, caused by fluctuations in the fabric of time and space? Crystal Ball 5. The future of Mandela Effect. What lies ahead in our quest for truth? The future of Mandela Effect. What lies ahead in our quest for truth? The future of the Mandela Effect may become clearer as science continues to develop and new technologies emerge. With advances in quantum experiments and discoveries of parallel universes, we may one day have solid evidence for the existence of parallel realities and understand why our memories change. As new scientific discoveries expand our understanding of the universe, questions about the Mandela Effect may lead us to an intellectual revolution, ushering in a new era in our understanding of reality, memory, and life. Perhaps the Mandela Effect is not just a mystery, but a clue that will lead us to a greater understanding of the universe. Chapter 10 ends with an open-ended question. Are we living in a single reality, or are there actually parallel realities that we have yet to decipher? In this journey, we have explored every aspect of the Mandela Effect, from scientific theories to unexplained real-life phenomena. The only thing left is for us to continue searching, exploring, and understanding the nature of reality. Because who knows, maybe the next discoveries will shed light on all the mysteries we have been and are experiencing.